A couple of months ago, I was just talking baseball with one of my roommates, and my roommate, a Texas Rangers fan, said that he'd rather have Marcus Semien than Mike Trout. I called him crazy. I said that, me too, I'm also delusional about my favorite teams. I even think that the Denver Broncos are a competent franchise at times. But saying that you'd rather have Marcus Semien than Mike Trout? That's too far. Semien has a career OPS of .771, 1 Gold Glove, 2 Silver Sluggers, 2 All-Star selections, and has finished third in MVP voting 3 times. Meanwhile, despite being younger, Trout has a career OPS of .991, 9 Silver Sluggers, 11 All-Star selections, 3 MVPs, and has finished in the top 10 MVP voting another 7 times. There's no comparison. Trout is much better and more accomplished player. Nevertheless, on Tuesday, April 30th, the Angels announced that Mike Trout will undergo knee surgery. While he's expected to return this season, his current status is out indefinitely. Sure enough, moments later, I got the "I told you so" text from my roommate. And he's right. And this got me thinking, are you watching the prime of the career of one of, if not the greatest to ever play the game of baseball, slip right between our fingers?
It goes so far. We talked about how spacious it is here at center field at Camden Yards. Full leap. I mean, he's way over the wall. That's insane. That's an unbelievable play by Mr. Mike Trout. That is full extension. Half of his body is over the wall, making that catch.
Michael Nelson Trout was born on August 7, 1991 in the town of Finland, New Jersey. After he played his high school ball at Millville Senior High School, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim selected the 17-year-old kid with the 25th pick of the first round of the 2009 MLB draft. Trout worked his way up through the ranks of the Angels minor league system relatively quickly and impressed many in the 2011 Arizona Fall League. After a couple of injuries and a few pieces falling into place, at only 19 years of age, Trout got his first shot in the big leagues in July of 2011. He struggled in his first stint in the big leagues and was sent down to AAA before getting another shot the following year. In 2012, Mike Trout got comfortable in the pros, and the rest was history. In 139 games in 2012, Trout batted .326 with an OPS of .963, launched 30 home runs, and stole 49 bases. Since Trout only had 135 plate appearances, 150 counts as a rookie season, he was still considered a rookie in 2012 and easily won the Rookie of the Year award. Trout put up another great campaign in 2013, upping his OPS to .989 and placing second in AL MVP voting for the second consecutive year. Back-to-back monster years were enough to prove to the Angels front office that Trout was legit and that 2012 wasn't a fluke. Therefore, in March of 2014, the Angels signed the 22-year-old Mike Trout to a 6-year, $144.5 million contract extension. The deal instantly paid off for the Angels, as Trout was absolutely incredible in 2014. On his way to leading the team to a 98-win and 64-loss season and their first division title in years, Trout set new career highs with 36 home runs and 111 RBIs, leading the league in RBIs. Unfortunately, he couldn't prevent the Angels from being swept 3-0 by the Kansas City Royals in the divisional round. However, his incredible season was easily enough to win his first MVP award. After a superb 2014 season, Mike Trout ran it back in both 2015 and 2016. In 159 games in 2015, he hit .299 with an OPS of .991, launched 41 home runs, and finished second in MVP voting. In 159 games in 2016, Trout hit .315 with an OPS of .991 again, launched 29 home runs, and drove in exactly 100 runs, and won his second AL MVP award. Well, all of his personal success was great. The Angels went 159 wins and 165 losses over the 2 years and missed the playoffs both times. A narrative began to spread around the baseball community. What if the Angels are holding back Mike Trout and wasting his prime? Does Mike Trout need to get out of Anaheim? Trout was eager to put these rumors to rest and start 2017 strong. The Angels got off to a very solid start, but then disaster struck. In late May, while stealing second base, Trout tore a ligament in his thumb and missed 6 weeks. The Angels spiraled out of control without Trout, and by the time he got back into the lineup, the season was out of reach. They finished the 2017 season with an 80-win and 82-loss record. It was proven to have not mattered, because in 2018, Trout played 140 games, and the Angels finished with an identical 80-win and 82-loss record. While Mike Trout is too humble to admit it, the narrative was confirmed. The Angels were holding him back. Despite all this, in March of 2019, Mike Trout signed a 12-year, $430 million contract extension with the Angels, effectively making him an Angel for life. Not only is he one of the greatest players to ever play, but he's also one of the most loyal and humble ballplayers we've ever seen. Trout followed up his second extension even better than he did his first. In 134 games in 2019, Mike Trout hit .291 with an absurd OPS of 1.083, launched a career-high 45 home runs, drove in 104 runs, and obviously won his third AL MVP award. Nevertheless, the Angels went 72-90 and missed the playoffs. It was quite frankly getting ridiculous. The 2020 season was shortened due to COVID-19. That didn't stop Mike Trout from putting up a great season. Nevertheless, even with the 2020 expanded playoff format, to nobody's surprise, the Angels found a way to miss the playoffs. In 2021, Mike Trout struggled with a strained calf and missed all but 36 games. Naturally, without Trout, the Angels were incompetent. Even with Shohei Ohtani putting up an MVP season, the Angels went 77 wins and 85 losses and missed the playoffs yet again. In 2022, MVP Trout was back. Between both Trout and Ohtani playing at MVP levels, there was hope for the Angels to finally return to the playoffs in October baseball. Unfortunately, Trout missing 5 weeks with a back ailment was all it took for Anaheim to collapse. They ended up going 73 wins and 89 losses, and guess what? They missed the postseason. The 2023 season was the last year of Shohei Ohtani's contract with the Angels. It was understood that due to Trout and Rendon's large salaries, the Angels wouldn't be able to compete with the massive offers Ohtani would receive in the free agent market. If they couldn't make the playoffs with Ohtani, what chance did they have without him? Therefore, the 2023 season was their last shot. They had to go all in. In July, Trout broke a bone in his left hand, and his season ended immediately. The Angels sat at 51 wins and 49 losses a week before the trade deadline. At the time, the Angels were not in a wildcard spot and were in third place in their division. The worst AL wildcard team ended up being the Toronto Blue Jays at 89 wins and 73 losses. In accordance, the Angels would have had to finish the year on a 39-win and 23-loss run to beat out Toronto. Even though, back in July, they didn't know exactly what the mark would be, General Manager Perry Minasian would have to be delusional to believe his team had a shot. Logically, the team should have thrown in the white flag and traded their players on contract years for prospects who will help the team the next time they're relevant in the future. However, Minasian refused to do so, and in an attempt to bring in rental players for their all-in run, he traded away the team's future. This decision instantly backfired, and the Angels collapsed. They finished with a 73-win and 89-loss record for the second straight year and lost Ohtani along with a handful of their top prospects. Entering this season, I expected the Angels to be horrible and finish in last behind the Oakland Athletics. Nonetheless, out of nowhere, the 2019 version of Mike Trout was back. With Trout playing out of his mind, the Angels got off to a decent 9-win, 9-loss start. But Trout couldn't do it on his own forever. The Angels proceeded to lose 9 of their next 10 games. Even with Trout being on pace for 58 home runs, the Angels were 10 wins and 19 losses. The next night, the Angels got a big come from behind 6-5 win over the Phillies. They thought they might be able to build on this win and get hot, but little did they know. In said win, Mike Trout tore his meniscus. The Angels weren't good to begin with. Now that Trout is sidelined for the foreseeable future, it is safe to assume the Angels aren't making the playoffs this year. This is Mike Trout's 6th significant injury since 2017. Considering the way his body is deteriorating, I doubt his prime will last much longer. He doesn't become an unrestricted free agent until 2031, after his age 38 season, so it's unlikely that he'll be nearly the same on his next contract. As I've made clear, the Angels currently aren't good. To make things worse, they have arguably the worst farm system in baseball. With MLB.com's 30th ranked farm system, it's hard to see the Angels improving before undergoing a major rebuild. In addition, both Trout and general manager Perry Minasian have knocked down any mention of a Trout trade. With all that said, I believe that unfortunately, Mike Trout will be stuck on an underwhelming Anaheim team for the remainder of his career and won't see any October wins in his prime. His only chance at playoff success is if he goes rank chasing at the end of his career, but even then, he'll be old and washed up and won't be the same. It's sad to say it, but the Los Angeles Angels are stealing the GOAT's prime from us. Free Mike Trout.
It goes so far. We talked about how spacious it is here at center field at Camden Yards. Full leap. I mean, he's way over the wall. That's insane. That's an unbelievable play by Mr. Mike Trout. That is full extension. Half of his body is over the wall, making that catch.